Now there were six kids in the family?
Yeah.
It'd be you?
No, there's seven altogether.
Seven altogether. It was
five
you,
boys and 2 girls.
So it was you and Granddad or Grover, and Uncle Ben and Uncle Leroy, and John, who was killed, I heard.
Yeah.
And then there was 2 daughters?
2 girls, yeah.
2 girls.
Lena and Lonnie. And Lena married Van Noy and lived at Morgantown. And Lonnie, of course, married Joe Minnie and lived down there on Tanner. But you see, Leroy was old. Leroy, Grover, but you see, Leroy was old. Leroy, Grover, then John, then Ben, and then me. That's 5 boys and then the 2 girls. You see.
What was your father and your mother's name?
My father's name was George Washington, I presume, Miller. He was born in 1854. Mother was born, her same name was Lucinda Nicholas, and she was born in 1858. So when we moved to Tanner, she was 38 years old, and Dad was 42.
Do you remember anything about your grandparents? Did you ever see grandparents?
I only saw my grandfather once, I think. There was a sort of a rift in the Miller family, and Grandpa, I don't know, he wasn't, he was a soldier. He was
And what was his name?
His name was Lewis.
Lewis.
Lewis. And we talk about him now. Rondell has some records about that. And we talk about Grandpa Lewis. But they moved from Mill Fork about the time we moved, or a little before, I guess. They moved over on Stinson someplace. And I only saw, as I remember, of course I saw my grandpa when I was baby, young, don't remember. But I saw him at Rosedale one time before, when I was, suppose, 10 or 12 years old.
You say he was
the only time I think I ever saw him.
Say he was a soldier?
Yeah, he was a soldier in the Union Army.
In the Union Army?
Yeah, he guarded this bridge, this railroad bridge down here. He guarded that. That was part of his business. He did that while he was in the service, anyway. But yeah, he was a Union soldier, and I think they called him a sharpshooter. As I remember, he was quite a soldier, no doubt.
And he was the only one of your grandparents that you remember ever seeing?
I never saw any other, the other Nicholas. I never saw him. He was gone, I guess, before I was born. See, the way the record goes, Mother was about 22 or 3 when she was married. And we've got a record Rondell gave us of the family, sort of family history. And Leroy was born in 1883. And so that made him 13 years old when we moved to Tanner.